This is not a market. It is a machine. It was designed for one purpose: to take real wealth, your work, your savings, your time, and transfer it to a very small group of people. The blueprints for this machine were not drawn on Wall Street. They were drawn in 1720 by a convicted murderer. And you are still playing his game. To understand the playbook, you must understand the architect. His name was John Law. In the early 1700s, he was the most wanted man in Europe, a fugitive who had killed a man in a duel. But he was also a brilliant theorist. He had a revolutionary idea. He believed that a nation's wealth was not the gold or silver it held. He believed wealth was confidence. He believed that if a government could control that confidence, it could create unlimited money. It could print paper and call it wealth. He found a desperate client, the Kingdom of France, bankrupt after 70 years of war. This is where the playbook begins. France was broke. The people were overtaxed. The treasury was empty. John Law arrived in Paris and made the regent a simple offer: "Let me save France." In 1716, Law was allowed to open the Banque Générale. It was a private bank, but it had a radical new power. It could issue paper money. He swore this paper was better than gold. You could exchange it for gold any time. It was stable. It was reliable. The public loved it. The economy stabilized. Trade recovered. John Law was hailed as a savior. He had gained the most valuable commodity of all: trust. Now that he controlled the money supply, Law needed a place to point it. He needed a story, a new paradigm. He took control of a failing trade company called the Mississippi Company. He claimed it had exclusive rights to the French territory of Louisiana, a land he described as a paradise filled with mountains of gold and silver, populated by friendly natives eager to trade. It was the dot-com stock of 1720. It was the new world. He then linked his bank to his company. He allowed people to buy shares in the Mississippi Company using his new paper money. The trap was set. Now he sprung it. Law's National Bank began printing paper money feverishly. With this flood of new, easy money, what did everyone do? They bought the only asset that mattered: Mississippi Company stock. The stock price exploded. It went from 500 livres to 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000. The word millionaire was invented in Paris to describe the carriage makers and servants who became rich overnight. The public was convinced they were getting rich. They were not. They were mistaking the inflation of an asset for the creation of wealth. They were trading their real assets, their gold, their silver, their land, for shares of printed paper. The insiders, John Law and the nobility, saw the end game. While the public was clamoring to buy, they began to sell. They quietly, then frantically sold their paper shares and used their paper millions to buy their real assets. They bought castles. They bought vast estates of land. They bought all the gold and silver they could find. The bubble had served its purpose. The wealth of the nation, the real, tangible wealth, had been transferred from the many to the few. A few smart nobles tried to cash out their paper for gold at Law's bank. The bank refused. Panic. The word spread instantly. The trust that Law had built evaporated in one day. The new paradigm was a lie. The paper was just paper. The stock collapsed 99%. The paper money became worthless. The millionaires of yesterday were the paupers of tomorrow. John Law fled the country in disgrace, penniless. But the insiders who had bought land, they kept their wealth. The playbook was complete. It was never about the Mississippi. It was never about stimulating the economy. It was, and always is, about the transfer. This is the playbook. It has not changed in 300 years. It just gets faster. 1. Centralize the money. Create a central bank that can print at will. 2. Create a narrative, a new paradigm that promises endless riches. 3. Print the money. Flood the system with cheap debt and new currency. 4. Inflate the bubble. The public, flush with easy money, buys the narrative. 5. The transfer. The insiders sell their paper assets and buy real assets. Then they pull the plug. Think. The 1920s. Margin lending led to the 1929 crash. The 2000 dot-com bubble. The new economy. Easy money. Insiders cashed out. The 2008 housing crisis. The housing always goes up narrative. Easy money. The public lost their homes. Now look around you. In 2020, central banks printed trillions of dollars, more than ever in history. Where did it go? It went into the everything bubble. Stocks, real estate, crypto. It created the greatest illusion of wealth in human history. Question is, what step are we on? Now, this is not to say that innovation is a lie. The internet is revolutionary. It's not to say that you can't make money in a market, but you must understand the game you are playing. The system is not designed to let everyone win. The system is designed to use the public's hope as exit liquidity for the elite. Preparation is not about timing the crash. It is about refusing to be the source of liquidity. It's about recognizing the pattern and building your own arc. So how do you beat a 300-year-old playbook? You do not play the game. You do what the insiders do, but you do it before the crash. You adopt the dual strategy of the survivor: hard assets and hard skills. First, hard assets. The playbook is designed to separate you from real wealth by offering you paper promises. The solution? Hold the real wealth. Hold the things that cannot be printed by a central bank. Hold the assets that have survived every collapse. Gold and silver, the 5,000-year-old defense against John Law's promises. Productive land, businesses that create real value, not just stock market hype. Hold the things that the rich buy after they sell you their paper. Second, hard skills. In the euphoria of the Mississippi bubble, jobs were invented that had no purpose other than to service the bubble. When the bubble bursts, those jobs vanish. Your defense, your offense, is a skill that solves a real human problem. The world will always need farmers. It will always need carpenters, electricians, and plumbers. It will always need people who can build, who can fix, who can heal, and who can create tangible value. Your skill is the one asset that cannot be inflated away. It is your personal gold standard. Hard assets are your shield. Hard skills are your sword. This is the combination that makes you independent of the playbook. The 1720 playbook is simple. It promises you can get rich for nothing. It promises you can turn paper into gold. It is the oldest lie in finance. But history also provides the 300-year-old truth. Value is not created by a printer. It is created by work. It is stored in things. History has the answers. I will show you where to look. Subscribe. Next week, we explore the patterns of social collapse. Because when the money dies, the social contract is next. We will look at Rome, France, and Weimar Germany to understand the three signs of a dying society.